Rain splattered across the windshield as Daniel pulled his old truck into the gas station, his 6-year-old daughter Lily humming quietly in the back seat. Life had been hard since his wife passed away 3 years ago, leaving him both father and mother to a little girl who deserved the world. He often masked his exhaustion with a smile, but inside, the weight of loneliness and endless responsibility gnawed at him. That evening, as thunder rumbled in the distance, he noticed a car pulled to the side of the road with its hood up. A woman stood helplessly in the rain, fumbling with her phone, frustration painted across her face. Without hesitation, Daniel knew he couldn't just drive by. He pulled over, grabbed his jacket, and stepped out into the storm, not realizing how much that choice would change both of their lives forever. The woman looked up as he approached, her soaked hair sticking to her cheeks, eyes a mixture of gratitude and embarrassment. "I think my car just died," she said with a nervous laugh, trying to mask her worry. Daniel gave her a reassuring smile, his voice calm and steady as he replied, "Don't worry, let me take a look." Lily peered out from the back seat, her curious eyes watching every move. Daniel rolled up his sleeves, leaned over the engine, and within minutes spotted the issue, a loose connection that had left her stranded. He fixed it with the kind of patience that came from years of fixing things with limited tools and time. When the car roared back to life, the woman's shoulders dropped in relief, and her smile lit up the rainy evening. "Thank you," she said softly, brushing wet strands of hair from her face. "I didn't know what I was going to do out here." Daniel shrugged, always humble, and replied, "Anyone would have stopped." But in truth, he knew that wasn't always the case in a world where people often rushed past each other. Lily, with her small voice carrying from the truck, called out, "Daddy, are we going to help her?" The woman's eyes softened as she looked at the little girl, her heart catching at the innocence of the child's concern. Daniel nodded and introduced himself, then Lily, who gave a shy little wave from the back seat. For a brief moment, the storm around them felt less heavy, replaced by a warmth none of them expected. The woman introduced herself as Emily, and explained she had just moved into town for a new job but hadn't quite found her footing yet. She laughed awkwardly as she admitted she didn't know a soul here and felt more lost than she let on. Daniel listened with quiet attentiveness, his protective instinct stirred by her vulnerability. He knew too well what it felt like to face life alone, to juggle burdens that seemed too heavy for one pair of hands. Emily's gratitude was genuine, but beyond that, there was something in her eyes that lingered with unspoken stories. Lily, still watching her closely, seemed to sense it too. Children had a way of seeing hearts without needing explanations. As the rain eased, Emily insisted she owed him dinner for helping her. Daniel hesitated, not used to accepting kindness, but Lily's eyes sparkled at the mention of food. "Can we, Daddy?" she whispered, tugging at his arm. He chuckled softly, finally agreeing, though his heart carried hesitation. That night, over warm food in a small diner, Emily's laughter blended with Lily's giggles, filling spaces Daniel hadn't realized had grown so hollow. For the first time in years, he wasn't just a single father battling through each day, he was simply a man enjoying company that felt strangely natural. The evening ended with exchanged phone numbers, though Daniel convinced himself it was only for emergencies. Weeks passed, and Emily became more than a passing stranger. She dropped by to visit Lily, sometimes bringing small treats or books to read together. Lily adored her, her little face lighting up whenever Emily's car pulled into the driveway. Daniel tried to guard his heart, reminding himself that Emily had her own life and he shouldn't expect anything more. Yet he couldn't deny how easily she fit into their world, how her presence brought laughter back into their quiet home. He caught himself watching her when she wasn't looking, his chest tightening with feelings he thought had long since died. One chilly evening, Daniel returned from work exhausted, only to find Emily and Lily baking cookies in the kitchen. The sound of Lily's laughter echoed like music in the house that once felt too empty. Emily looked up, her hands dusted with flour, and smiled as though she belonged there all along. Daniel froze for a moment, realizing how much he wanted that seemed to be permanent. But fear crept in, the fear of losing again, of trusting someone with both his and Lily's fragile hearts. He swallowed his feelings, burying them behind a polite thank you, even though his soul screamed for more. Lily, however, was not one to hold back. Children rarely are. One Sunday afternoon, after Emily had joined them for a picnic in the park, Lily tugged on Daniel's sleeve as Emily walked ahead. "Daddy, she whispered in her soft, innocent voice, "Can she be my mommy?" The words hit Daniel harder than he expected, sending a rush of emotions through him: grief, hope, fear, and longing all tangled into one. He looked at his daughter, her eyes filled with such sincerity, and realized she had spoken what he had been too afraid to admit. His throat tightened, and for a long moment, he had no words at all. That night, Daniel lay awake wrestling with his thoughts. He didn't want to confuse Lily or risk losing Emily if she didn't feel the same. Yet, deep down, he knew their lives had already shifted. Emily wasn't just a guest in their world anymore, she was becoming part of it. He remembered the loneliness of the years after his wife passed, the nights of silent prayers asking for strength. Could Emily be the answer he never expected? His heart warred with his mind, but Lily's hopeful eyes replayed in his memory, and he knew he couldn't ignore them. The next time Emily visited, Daniel finally found the courage to talk.